Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Bears Den. Guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn, and I'm joined by my man, Joe Tanksley. What up, Joe?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Man, we got a lot to talk about. We don't got a lot of time, so let's get right to it. The Bears. Tough one.
Yeah.
Tough one last week. And there's a lot going on with this, all right? People are going at Caleb. People are pointing fingers at Caleb. People are pointing fingers at Shane Waldron. People are pointing fingers at Coach Eberflus. Give me your thoughts of the game, of the result from Sunday.
I really feel like, we didn't get a chance to talk, about the Redskins and, how that game ended. But I kind of felt like, they allowed, one bad loss to turn into two bad losses.
So Washington beat us twice is what you're saying.
Pretty much. And I kind of feel like, Eberflus, and that coaching staff, and the team, didn't do a, good job of kind of compartmentalizing and turning the page and moving forward. And they came out with a lack of energy. It's just something that, that I wasn't used to seeing, from this group of players. The defense has been intact for a while, and they've always played hard, and I didn't see the level of execution from the defense. I didn't see the kind of play calling and situational defensive play calling from Eberflus that game. Everybody was flat, and it was just bad, and they got a lot of problems that they need to fix. And they're giving a lot for us to talk about. If they win this game, it's all good. But it's not. And I forget who said it, but when as soon as you get to two losses in a row, that's when the problems start to creep up and the questions and the doubts start to come in, and that's what's happening with this group.
Yeah, that's And the thing is, you said they better win this week.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a team that is, if the season ended today, they'd have the number one overall pick. All right, they got the worst record in the league. Okay, and you have to have two wins, and you have to take advantage of this. You have to take advantage of it. I agree with you, Joe. I think that the Washington Commanders beat us twice, and that was the thing that I said. Like, don't let them beat you twice. Don't let that game carry over. And Caleb said, there's a couple of things from Caleb. He said, he goes, he's doing some stuff like on the low. All right. He's talking about the staff, and he was like, we didn't do a good job. Here, we got a clip of Caleb talking about that whole thing, and listen to what he's saying, and it seems to me like he's kind of throwing them under the bus personally, the coaching staff. But listen.
Do you sense you're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yep.
You feel like maybe you shouldn't have been in the game at that point?
It's not my decision. You fight to the end of the game. If you're in the game, if not, coach makes a decision like that. You have to deal with it and figure out the next steps. But not my decision.
Do you think you bounced back from a hectic week
last week?
Yeah, and play better today, just as a team?
I think early on in the week, I think we could have done better overall of bouncing back after that. I know it's a tough loss. It's tough regardless of who you are in the facility. If you're out there making plays or if you're making decisions up top.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said tough time bouncing back, and that falls on the coaches. That falls on the coaching staff, all right, to try and get these guys' minds right. Your thoughts on Eberflus? There's a lot of speculation that people calling for his job now. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to fire him mid-season. That's not what the Bears do.
No.
Do you think
And it's
has a
9
good,
games left too.
also that's a great point. This thing can get turned around quickly. If the Bears go 7-2, 6-3 in the last 9 games, it's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother story. That's 10.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's 10 wins, and now you're looking at possibly with stuff with this division, possibly a playoff spot. So, talk to me about Eberflus. All right, do you think is he doing what could he do better to help this team?
Well, I think the game management and being situationally aware, of what's going to happen in the game, is something that he needs to do a little bit better. I really felt like like I said, we didn't get a chance to talk after the Washington game, but there was a situation when you look down the field and you see a Tyreek Stevenson doing something dumb. You call a timeout and say, "Hey, get your ass back and get your shit together." You know what I'm saying? And focus. It's time to focus so we can win this game. That's a perfect situation to call a timeout, in that game. So, you're talking about, game management, being situationally aware, having a pulse of the game and being able to feel out when you guys need to, need a pep talk, maybe need a redirection. That's something where he's, been falling flat. I think that's pretty much what it is. I think what's happening now is that he's getting caught up into calling the defense, where he's not focusing on the whole picture of the game and the flow of the game. I think he's focusing on what he's going to call next, and what down the distance and things like that. Till he's not really thinking, about what the whole team needs to win. That's how
Do
you
you
end up
think,
with
Joseph, do you think he's got too much on his plate?
I think that we've seen offensive coaches, head coaches call plays and still head coach. I think it's just something that he needs to be, if he's going to continue to do, he needs to be more aware of that and understand and being able to focus on both. I mean, this is the undertaking he took up. I'm not going to say that it's too much on his plate because he's a head coach. Head coaches do, saying you got to do what you need to win. But there's situations when you need to look and say, hey, we're in a tough situation. We're not giving the ball to Doug Kramer in this situation. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Stop.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like think about the situation that you're in. You're in a situation at the end of the game. Like, Caleb was talking about being in at the end of the game. How many scores are you down? How much time is left in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Has your offensive line been able to block anybody all game? Why was he still in the game? Stuff like that. Getting worked.
Yeah.
Nothing's worked all game. What are you getting work on? I mean, it's little things like that I feel like the fan base is, kind of, having a little bit of pause about, and me included. I mean, I was, in favor of bringing Eberflus back. I thought it was good continuity for the defense. I didn't think he really had a fair chance his first season because they were trying to tank and rebuild the team. The second season, they did improve a little bit. And this is his, first real season with a real roster. Granted, he has a rookie quarterback, but you have a roster that's ready to, to win now. And it shouldn't look this bad.
I agree with you. It definitely looks bad. It looks. My question to you that I've asked other people as well. Do you, and everyone say fire him, fire him, fire him. Is there room for improvement? I mean, should you give him leeway? All right, we're as fans when play. I mean, how many people are saying cut Caleb Williams, get rid of trade Caleb Williams right now? Okay, right. But you got to give the guy time to develop and grow into those shoes. What about giving Eberflus time to develop and grow into those shoes? Because he's never been. This is his first time as a head coach, his first head coaching gig. All right, the first year, man, they tore his whole defense down. That had to attack, that had to hurt his soul as a defensive coordinator. Last year, okay, you did better, but this year was a chance you're supposed to kind of have your defense together, have more offensive weapons. Do you Do you want to cut him any slack this year? It seems for him to develop into a good head coach.
To me, it's kind of like a catch-22 is a double-edged sword because I kind of feel like, that tank season, he should have been practicing and working all this stuff out. Season number 2, he should have been practicing and working all this stuff out. What you're going to do in certain situations. I feel like, having 2 seasons under his belt as a head coach, he should know and understand these situations and how to manage the game and how to manage timeouts. Why does he? One of the things that bugs me is, him holding on to timeouts at the end of the first half. Why are you holding on to those things? You can't take them with you. Use those to try to get an edge somehow before you go in for the half. I don't think he does a good job of using those timeouts at the end of the half. In general, I already referenced the Washington game and what he should have done. But I think he's has some on the job experience where he should be a little bit better. But at the same token, this is really the first time that he's really had a winning team, and it's hard because even though they were losing, they were in some close games. So I kind of feel like he should be better.
So let me ask.
I feel like he should be better at this point.
So let me ask you this question.
I'm willing to give him to the end of the season to improve, but I also feel like he should be better right now.
You think he's lost the locker room?
There was a lot of chatter after the Washington game, and players being vocal and probably saying some things to the media that they should have been saying. But I think the players, to me, I kind of feel like the players knew that was an opportunity to get away with one that they shouldn't have had. And I kind of feel like they felt like the coaching let them down in that situation. Even though that the players did some things that was stupid, what I'm saying? I think the coach is the one that's supposed to see all that happening and kind of nip it in the bud. And I don't think it happened. And I think they kind of feel like, from what I understand, that that they're not being put in the proper situations to succeed, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You see, we've heard frustration from Caleb Williams. We've heard frustration from DJ Moore. I don't think he's 100% lost the locker room. I think a lot of this stuff, and honestly, when we talk about losing the locker room, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I think a lot of this stuff, gets nipped in the bud if Brisker's playing, if Gordon's playing, especially Brisker, because he's the one that's really, is that's gung ho, what I'm saying, and he's really the heartbeat of that defense. And with him being out, what I'm saying, I feel like, Flus has kind of lost his, on the field, captain, his on the field eyes. We all, we've talked so much, they talked so much about the, the relationship they have, Brisker and Eberflus. And with him being out, I think that's kind of really what's, happening to the defense and, some of that, that lack of focus that we're seeing. Offensively, they kind of been, kind of been disjointed all year. And they really, every so often you get a sense of, maybe they got a little bit of identity, and then they take 2 steps back and you don't even know what the hell they're doing anymore. And so, yeah, I think they're teetering on. They're teetering. He's teetering on losing the locker room. It's really important that they come out and beat the Patriots this week handedly.
I agree with you. They have to. This team, I mentioned, they're the worst team in football. All right, the number 1 overall pick right now. If the season were to end today, and if you think that there was a firestorm this week and last week, let them lose to the Patriots and go 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. Let them lose to the Patriots, to the worst team in football, and see how crazy this fan base and the media gets. They have no leeway whatsoever. They need to win, and they need to win big.
Mm-hmm.
They need to win big because it'll calm everything down. Okay, it'll calm everything down for a while, but probably only till Monday because everybody knows what's after the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They got 6 of the next 8, the 6 of the last 8 games are against division foes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he should lose his job. Well, what are the reports? Right? Brad Biggs came in, reported, and also Adam Rank from the Sick Podcast. They both reported that they believe that Eberflus has a 5-year deal, not a 4-year deal. So that plays a part into it because you know damn well the Bears ain't going to go into the next season paying 2 coaches.
Right.
So because their coaches' contracts are guaranteed, all of it. So they're gonna have to pay him for 2 more years, and they're gonna hire another guy and pay him a new coach, pay him as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it happening. Your thoughts on that situation?
I think that the Bears have a lot of irons in the fire right now. As far as the success of the team, trying to build a new stadium, all those things, and they got a new president, Kevin Warren, who does things a little bit differently, and I think that anything that's going to jeopardize building a new stadium and the dollars that they can receive because of the competitiveness of the team, I think they're going to seek to fix. I don't think this is the same old Bears as that we've known in the past. They still do some of the things the same, but lately they've been doing things a little bit differently. And so, even the 5-year deal, does give some concern. Is him sticking around, and this family-owned franchise. That's all they do is the Bears. They don't have they don't cap money in coming from any place else.
Nope.
It's just the Bears. It's just the Bears, and that's it. Um, that may say be a reason to retain him after this season, but if they continue going down the road that we saw in Arizona, I don't see how they can bring him back.
I agree. I think he's got to win Sunday. I think he's got to go at least split.
Mm-hmm.
If he can go 5-3, that'd be great. For some reason, I wasn't as worried about Detroit initially, and then a couple of things hit me. One, they look like the best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's for starters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It looks like the best team in the NFL. And 2, we don't got Justin Fields. Justin Fields always played very, very well against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of it had to do with his ability to run, his ability to scramble, and he killed them. All right, he killed them. With busted plays, and he just took off and kept drives alive, and beautiful touchdown passes to DJ Moore and to a whole bunch of other people. And he's not here now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if that's going to be feasible with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned big time with them because we had them. We're game 1 and 55 minutes of the second game we have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure. I don't know if they can do it, and I think if they don't go 5-3, or if they don't get double digits wins, God forbid they finish under 500. But what if they finish 8-9?
Right.
Yeah, then I think he's got to go. You can't bring Eberflus back, especially if they go under 500. Can't do it.
No, you can't do it. And I think there's so much at stake, and I think watching the end of that Cardinals game and seeing Caleb out there, and then him coming up gimping and limping, and then they let him take another snap, on a gimpy leg. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, hold on, hold on. What is happening here? And even the announcers, was it Gus Johnson? Was like, what's happening here? Was it Gus Johnson?
No, it was I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Charles Davis.
Who?
Charles Davis, I believe it was.
Charles Davis. Yes, Charles Davis. Was saying like, what's happening here? And I was thinking to myself, what is really going on here? And it's things like that. The development of Caleb Williams, is also very important as well. And and keeping him healthy is also very important as well. And I don't think Matt Eberflus and that coaching staff, recognized what was happening in that situation, and they made a bad decision. He can come up there and say, "Oh, we were trying to get work and everything." Nothing was working. You weren't working on anything. You were working on getting his ass kicked. That's what you were working on, and that was bad. That was bad.
If you let go of Eberflus, then you're perpetuating a cycle. You're perpetuating this cycle. Mr. Trubisky came with John Fox's last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Trubisky's second year, he had Nagy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Justin
I get
Fields
it.
came in Nagy's last year. His first, and next year he had Eberflus and Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy, Eberflus would be fired. If you fire him, Caleb Williams will be here his first year, and then he'll move on to somebody else. Hopefully Ben Johnson. All the rumors are saying I don't want the job now because of the craziness. So this is the repeated cycle that they're doing that they could follow, which is why they may end up keeping Eberflus. If they keep Eberflus, let's go to our next topic. What about Shane Waldron? What about Shane Waldron? Does he get a pass?
I think that I don't know, because I kind of feel like you get an opportunity to learn the personnel, but I don't want to give him a pass because I don't like the option, and the inability to be able to have enough time on the clock to check out that play. I'm talking about the option against the Colts. The second week of the season. I don't like the handoff to Doug Kramer. I don't like that they don't use DJ Moore down the field a little bit more. There's always these silly ass bubble screens and hitches and
Well, they have gone to DJ down the field, but Caleb Williams puts too much damn too much air into the ball, and it gets picked off, and it's incomplete, or they get tackled.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, let's not forget they just came out of they won 3 in a row, 2 games. They scored five offensive touchdowns, the first time since 1956. That's happened. So let's not highlight all of his shortcomings. Let's not forget there's some good games in there too.
Here's the thing. I want to see the success being it's successive. You know what I'm saying?
We had 2 weeks in a row, about 2 weeks in a row, 35 points, 5 offensive touchdowns, 2 weeks in a row. We had 1 bad game last week. So what if they throw 3 or 4 or 5 offensive touchdowns this week? Are we back to welcoming Shane back in the fold, or was he invited to the barbecue next year? Or what?
No, because here's the thing. I'm looking I'm looking for more situational play calling. I'm looking for more. Okay. I'm looking for more bread and butter plays. There was a 4th and 1 where they threw a bubble screens hitch type play to DJ Moore, and he gets tackled. They don't get the first down. I'm thinking about that play. It's things like that where I end up scratching my head as to why they're doing them. You made a commitment to bringing Doug Kramer in to be a fullback. You know what I'm saying? To beef up that blocking and giving the ball to Roschon Johnson. Why don't you do that? If that's you came out and said that. The coaching staff came out and said, "Yo, Roschon Johnson is our short yardage guy. This is what we gonna do."
After they said Khalil Herbert was our short yardage guy,
right? But why don't you do those things? I kind of feel like for the Bears, I want to see some things that something like the tush push, when you know it's going to happen and you can't stop it. And the Doug Kramer thing was kind of becoming that until they messed it all up.
So do
And
you run that if you're Shane Waldron? Do you run that again?
I think you could come back to it. I think you could come back to it. I mean, it's on film that you might give him the ball, so I think. But it doesn't matter if it's something that you can execute very well and you know it's going to work. It doesn't matter. Run it. Run it.
I agree with you. I think that people know that they're not going to give Doug Kramer the ball anymore after that fiasco, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, you got a 300-pound man, 300-pound guard with a head start, and he's going to clear a lot of shit out of the way. And I think that's going to allow. And Roshan Johnson is a tough son of a gun who's going to be right behind him. So I say run it. You get in short yardage situations, run it, run it, run it, run it,
Run it.
Run it.
Yeah.
run it. And it helps establish an identity for this squad. All right, this offense is not tough. This offense is not gritty, and that's what bothers me. All right, that's what bothers me. That's why I love. I love when they put Kramer in, because it showed a little tenacity, a little grit about these guys, and nastiness and toughness. And then you give it to Kramer. Like, come on, man. So yeah, I say run it till they stop it. Personally.
And here's the thing: I don't think Washington's defense was stout enough to stop it anyway. I don't understand why they just they just didn't run the play.
But unfortunately, Joe, we've seen here, it happens all over the league, but we've seen it here far too often.
Right.
Where offensive coordinators want to be the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
And they want to trick people. And they end up out tricking themselves, and that's what they did.
Here's the thing. I feel like in order for Waldron to be successful, I think Matt Eberflus needs to establish himself as a head coach a little bit more, and I think he needs to be more vocal about the offensive side of the ball and putting the team in certain situations that's going to hurt the team. And I think if he hears something that he doesn't like, I think he should have just let Shane Waldron call whatever the hell he wants to call, especially when it's crazy and it doesn't fit the situation. And I think that's where I want to see the growth. I really, in order for Shane Waldron to be able to stick around, I need Matt Eberflus to grow more as a head coach.
So let me ask you a question. If they bring Eberflus back, does Shane Waldron come back? Because you're going to give it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have a completely different play caller, just like the previous two starting quarterbacks. Head coach will be the same, but the play caller is going to be different. We saw what happened with Cutler. Six offensive coordinators, 7 different play callers in his 8 years here. And people wonder why we didn't win a Super Bowl with him.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't, if it were me personally, I would not be a fan of firing Shane Waldron at this point. We still got 9 games. We still got 9 games left, and there's a lot of opportunity to fix things and have a more cohesive unit. Come up with more cohesive, offensive game plans. We still got time, and we also got to remember that that we are dealing with a rookie quarterback, and even though that we've seen the success of others across the league with rookie quarterbacks, I think the situation for our team was a little bit different. Our offensive line is a little bit patchwork right now, and it's very difficult to run certain things and establish an identity when you're putting the offensive line together with, I don't want to call them pedestrian because they play in the NFL, and that's an opportunity that many don't get to have. But the job that they've been doing lately has been pedestrian, and it's hard to get anything established with that kind of offensive line play. But on the same token, I do think that Shane Waldron understanding that the offensive line is, kind of, a patchwork right now. We need to get more power run game. We need to get downhill a little bit more. We need to be able to, run the ball, even, if we're getting 1 or 2 yards, keep running it because that's going to create the balance that you can use for a play action to get a big shot down the field. And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen a regular screen game. We're just letting guys run after Caleb, and he's out there dancing and bobbing and weaving, keeping his eyes downfield, and he's doing a phenomenal job at it. But it's only so much time he can do that. Why not run a screen game? Throw a couple screens in there. It's the basic things that he's not doing that I haven't seen that we need to get back to.
How much of this talked about Eberflus, we talked about Waldron. How much blame falls on Caleb? We saw Caleb miss DJ Moore. I mean, there's a whole bunch of we got a clip here of him missing a wide open DJ Moore. Check it out. All right, wide open. Toss it to him. He skips into the end zone. He overthrows people. He underthrows people. And how much of this falls on Caleb? And are you upset? Because remember, we were promised this guy's generational. We were promised this guy is accurate. We were promised this guy, is this, is that. He's the best quarterback prospect in 20 years. And I understand you want to let a rookie develop, but when you got an open receiver is an open receiver. Mm-hmm. There's no difference in that between the NFL and you have time. Mm-hmm. I mean, that you should understand what type of football to deliver. All right, he's having a problem. He's putting too much air into the ball. The pass to Roma Dunze last week when he was in the hole. If he puts that on a rope, he might be able to get by the safety who's in the cover 2 because Rome's in a soft spot. And I thought Rome was going to fair catch the ball. I'm like, come on, man, you can't put that much air under the ball. Mm-hmm. How much blame falls on Caleb? We're 8 weeks into the season now. Mm-hmm. How much falls on him?
I think Caleb could definitely be better. I want to go back to Hard Knocks when they said with Nick Saban was talking to Eberflus. We got to we got to have some patience. I've seen a lot of good things of Caleb. I do think that Caleb has a command of the offense. I do think that Caleb is, seems like he's in control and understands the situations, and he's trying to get the team into good plays and out of bad plays. I think that he's doing a lot. And I do feel like he could be pressing a little bit. I think he understands the situation, and he's been mature, and I think that he's going to get better. I do think a lot of this falls on Caleb too as well. As far as missing open guys. But at the same time, this is what happens with growing pains. We saw Peyton Manning throw 20 plus interceptions his rookie year. 28 interceptions his rookie year. Is anybody going to say that Peyton Manning wasn't great? He's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Okay. Well, let's get your prediction before we bounce.
Let's see. Prediction for the Bears versus New England. I think the Bears do bounce back. I just think on paper, talent-wise, the Bears just got too much for New England. And, they're playing at home. I think the Bears are going to win. We got another one of those 5 touchdown games. I'm thinking 35. You know what I'm saying? To 10.
35-10. Joe's prediction. Okay. I had I'm going out on a limb here. All right. I'm going on a limb. I got 41-17. I think they scored a touchdown late. Or maybe three touchdowns and a field goal. 3 field goals and a touchdown. What's that, 16? Let me change that to 16. Let me change that to 16. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and a touchdown. Okay. I think the Bears are in a spot where they get they score. If we get back on track, this is a get right game. Get back on track. 5 offensive touchdowns. All right, a couple field goals. I think we're good to go. I think the defense either scores a touchdown or sets one up.
Yeah, I feel like too. I feel like this is a game where the defense scores a touchdown.
Yeah, and even though they're going to be without Billings, he's out for the season, or he's on IR. He's most likely out for the season with a torn pec. I still think we have enough, but I think the defense is that either scores one or they set us up big time, like inside the 10. A scoop score or a scoop in return or interception or something, or a strip sack, forced fumble. I think the defense sets the offense up big time. So
and Ramondre Stevenson, even though he's a hard runner, he has been coughing the ball up. I definitely see that happening.
Oh. Yep, so that's my prediction, 41-16. Well, guys, that's a great place to end it. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Another week of the Bears Den. Saul Rodriguez will be back most likely next week. Hopefully all 3 of us will be on. But for my guy, Joe Tanksley, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, you have a phenomenal night. Bear down. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11. Shawn and Maya in the morning. Okay? Check that out. I will be live, and I'm fired up for that. All right, so for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago and War Media, guys, you have a phenomenal night.
Peace.